Hello, I'm Kate Pagan, I'm the Chief Nursing Information Officer. The videos you will see next contain my friend and colleague, the late Dr. Paul Southern. He was the key driving force in the EPR programme and was passionate about patient care and safety and the way that it supports it. We felt that continuing to use these clips would be a good way to continue his legacy. I'm sure that he would be very proud to continue to be a part of this important programme.
Hello, my name is Paul Southern and I'm the Associate Medical Director of Informatics. On today's video we're going to run through how to conduct an outpatient clinic without a patient being present, slowly talking through everything that we're doing to give you an idea of how I use the system to efficiently and quickly see someone in clinic. So, if we turn to the screen, we'd normally start our clinic by picking our patient up from our outpatient work list, but I can't do that for IG reasons, so I've already opened a patient called ZZZ test variant 5. So we go to clinician workflow. If you're picking it up from the outpatient list, it will automatically select the correct outpatient workflow. It's important to have reduced the components of the workflow to the correct number and make sure they're in the right order so that it works for you. There's another video on the system that shows you how to do this. So what I normally start off by doing is quickly taking their past history. So I ask them about other things. So for example, they may have hypertension. They may have type 2 diabetes. They may have dyslipidemia. And I might know from reading the referral that they're probably going to have fatty liver disease or NAFLD. At this point, I'm also quite careful to make sure that the correct boxes are ticked here. So I make sure that the dyslipidemia, the type 2 diabetes and the hypertension are all recorded as chronic conditions, and only the fatty liver, the reason they're here today, is clicked as this visit. I would also at this point just quickly take the medication history. So I click into meds history to do that, click add, and I start typing the names of medications. So for example, if the patient's on 50 of atenolol, I type aten50 and it brings up atenolol 50 milligrams, which I select. Bendroflumethiside, so Brendro 2.5, and again there it is. Aspirin 75. It's really important that you're careful to select the right medications. So for more complex drugs, you might type the longer name, but you must make sure when you've completed that you check all of these home medications are correct at the same dose before you click document history. At this point, I then go in to the allergy section and just check that they're allergic to penicillin. And then if they say they're allergic to something else, so for example, in this situation, we're going to say that they're allergic to nifedipine. So I start typing in nifedipine, I select it, I say what the reaction is. So for example, a rash, select drug rash, severity, moderate, click save, and that drops that straight in there. I then use the specialist history box to actually take the narrative. So for example, raised ALT 50 to 70, no other liver issues, no meds, antibiotics, no illicit drugs, weight static, diabetes well controlled. I could, if I wish, use an auto text at this point to fill it in. So for example, here I have an auto text that I call new. And that would have allowed me then to fill in a more structured history, but I'm not going to use that today. I then look at examination. So I examine my patient, and again, I have hashtag exam. That fills in, everything's fairly unremarkable. So I've got my history, I've got all the structured information. I'm now going to do some tests. So I use new order entry. So here I have a whole range of favourites saved right from a liver etiology screen. Hep B, Hep C, hemochromatosis. In this situation, we're going to use the NAFLD box, and I'm going to check their cholesterol, their full blood count, their HbA1c, their liver function tests, their thyroid function. I'm going to get a routine ultrasound scan of the liver. I'm going to get a FibroScan of the liver, and I'm going to see them again in clinic in 6 months. Now, I've saved all of those because I know what a standard fatty liver consultation is all about. So I've saved all of those things, including follow-up, into this one folder. I then click my complete signature box, click sign, and then presented with my orders to complete. So what I do here is I start with my blood tests, click the first one, push the shift button, click the last one, that selects all of them. I've already, as you can see, when I've saved them as favourites, filled in my telephone number, where the bloods are being collected. So I just have to type here NAFLD, and that's all completed. Ultrasound scan of the liver, again, NAFLD's filled in. It's a routine scan, and I just have to put my phone number. Already, both the FibroScan and the hepatology follow-up are filled in, so I can simply click sign. Oh, I've missed something. I haven't answered if it's an infection risk for radiology, so click sign. I've been using this test patient before, so I'm just going to say order anyway. And that's all those orders dropped into the bottom of the screen. So when we save our note, it has them all in. As you can see, there's others from when we've used this patient earlier today. I'm going to print these blood cards out for the patient, so I go to specimen collection. I click on enable to scan barcode. I go to this top right and click select print all requisitions, and I select the appropriate printer. So in this case, it's already selected, as I was in endoscopy the other day, endoscopy room 6, but usually it will offer the closest printers to you. And then you just click print, and that would send all of those requisitions through to that printer. I might choose here to put in a little narrative. So for example, for fatty livers here, I have a little fatty liver auto text, which gives instructions to our specialist nurses about how soon I want to see them again, and a little bit of text about likely diagnosis of NAFLD, etiology screen, completion to exclude the causes, and request a FibroScan. So I've then completed all of the narrative, the structured information, and the tests for this patient. I finally need to save my outpatient note. I click select other note. I already have my note templates reduced to the only 3 that I use. In general, people have all 10 available, but actually I don't work in ED, so I don't need to see the ED ones. So you just select by clicking the little favourite button and making the star go gold, which ones you want to have as favourites. So I'm going to use outpatient notes, so I double click. I have the opportunity then to review my letter, which as you can see has examination, specialist history, and the plan all present. I'm going to sign it. Again, this would be the opportunity to send this note on to somebody else. So for example, if I want to send it to Rhiannon Simpson, who's one of our specialist nurses, I just click add to recipients. So this means it drops into her message center. If I was a medical student or a student nurse and been clerking somebody, I might want to send it to my supervisor, in which case I would then click the sign button here. If this happens, it means that this note does not drop into the record until the supervisor has actually looked at it and signed it off themselves. I click sign, that commits it to the record, and that's this completed. So that's the end of this short video showing you how to make clinician workflow work for you. If you have any further questions about this, I run a masterclass session 8 till 9 AM on a Wednesday morning in the PALS seminar room in the retail wing behind the main reception. Please feel free to drop in.